My sister uninvited my wife from her wedding, afraid she'd upstage her. I stayed quiet, then canceled the $15,000 catering my wife's family had secretly covered. She ended up serving 200 guests tap water and chips. My sister Emma has competed with me since childhood, but she never competed with me directly. She competed with whoever stood beside me. Every girlfriend I ever brought home was dissected too loud, too quiet, too plain, too flashy. Then I married Sarah, and Emma's insecurity found its permanent target. Sarah is the kind of woman who walks into a room and changes the temperature without trying. She's tall, graceful, and naturally beautiful in a way that requires no effort. But what makes people love her isn't her appearance, it's her warmth. She remembers every birthday, sends handwritten notes, and once drove 3 hours in a snowstorm to bring my mother soup when she had the flu. She's the kindest person I've ever known, and I will protect her from anyone who mistakes that kindness for weakness, including my own sister. Emma got engaged last spring. The excitement lasted about 2 weeks before the financial panic set in. She wanted a luxury wedding, 200 guests, a historic ballroom, designer flowers on a budget that couldn't support half of it. She started cutting corners everywhere. The catering was the biggest expense and the biggest stress. She couldn't afford anything beyond basic buffet, and it was eating her alive. Sarah saw the stress and came to me with an idea. Her family owns a high-end catering company. Sarah offered to cover the entire catering bill, $15,000 as an anonymous wedding gift. We'd route it through the business so Emma would simply receive a call saying her catering had been sponsored by a private donor. No names, no strings. We did it specifically so Emma wouldn't feel embarrassed. The menu was extraordinary: filet mignon, seared salmon, handmade pasta, a dessert station with 3 tiers. 200 guests would eat like royalty, and Emma would never know her brother's wife made it happen. 1 week before the wedding, Emma called. Her voice was tight and rehearsed. "I need to talk to you about Sarah. I've decided she's not invited anymore." I waited. She continued. "She's too pretty. She'll upstage me. Every photo will be about her, not me. I need you to come alone. This is my day." I sat in silence for a few seconds. Not because I was angry, I was past that. I was making a decision. Emma had just uninvited the woman who secretly paid for every bite of food her guests would eat. She had insulted my wife's existence to protect her own vanity. I didn't raise my voice. I said, "Understood, Emma. Have a beautiful wedding," and I hung up. Then I called my father-in-law. I explained what happened calmly. He was quiet for a moment, then said, "I'll pull the team off the schedule tonight." By morning, the $15,000 was refunded to our account and the catering contract was formally canceled. No food, no servers, no dessert station, nothing. Emma's wedding coordinator would eventually notice the caterer was unresponsive, but by then it would be far too late. Saturday came. Sarah and I stayed home. We ordered Thai food, opened a bottle of wine, and watched a movie on the couch with our phones on silent. It was a perfect evening. At 9 p.m., I turned my phone back on. 47 messages, 12 missed calls. The first text from my cousin read, "Where is the food?" The second, from my mother, "Emma is hysterical. No caterer showed up. What happened?" Then came the photos. 200 guests in gowns and tailored suits, seated at beautifully decorated tables with absolutely nothing on them. No plates, no silverware, no food. The ballroom looked like an elegant ghost ship. Emma's new husband apparently left in a panic and drove to the nearest grocery store. He returned 20 minutes later with 11 bags of assorted potato chips, 2 cases of bottled water, and a container of store-bought cookies. The photos that followed were devastating. Guests in cocktail attire eating plain chips off fine china, tap water poured into crystal glasses, an elderly uncle holding a single Lay's chip between 2 fingers like it had personally offended him. The $40,000 ballroom looked like a college dorm party hosted by someone with no friends and no budget. Emma called me at midnight sobbing. "The caterer disappeared. My wedding is ruined. Everyone is laughing at me." I let her finish. Then I said, "The caterer didn't disappear, Emma. I canceled it. Sarah's family paid for every dollar of that food. The $15,000 menu, the filet mignon, the salmon, the desserts, that was Sarah's gift to you. The woman you uninvited for being too pretty funded your entire reception." So I pulled it. Silence. Then a sound I can only describe as a balloon releasing all its air at once. I hung up, walked back to the couch, and handed Sarah her wine glass. She asked who called. I said, "Nobody important."